This is the Mechanics Homework Booklet, question 17. A supertanker of mass 4 times 10 to the 8 kilograms, cruising at an initial speed of 4.5 meters per second, takes 1 hour to come to rest. You are asked to find the deceleration of the tanker, assuming that the force slowing the tanker down is constant. This is letting you know that it is constant acceleration as well. So acceleration is rate of change of velocity. So we want the initial velocity take away the final, giving us 4.5 meters per second, and the time taken. Notice we've converted 1 hour into seconds so that we're in standard units. Remember here to give the units for acceleration of meters per second squared. Next, you're asked to find the distance travelled by the tanker while slowing down to a stop. If you list the information that you know, we have got the initial velocity and the final velocity and the time given in the question, and we have previously worked out the acceleration. Notice if you use the acceleration, it will need to be negative since it was actually a deceleration. You can avoid using your previous calculated answer by selecting the equation S equals a half U plus VT. This does have the advantage that you wouldn't carry an error forward. Substitution into that leads to the answer of 8.1 times 10 to the 3 meters. Use of either of these alternative equations would give the same answer as long as you substitute in a negative value for acceleration. It is worth noticing at this point that you were given the mass of the supertanker in the question, but you've not needed to use it. It's worth being aware of this issue when tackling exam questions so that you're not worried. Part of the assessment is selecting the appropriate data to find an answer. Part B. You're asked to sketch a distance time graph for the motion of the tanker until it stops. The tanker was decelerating, so the speed must be decreasing. For a distance time graph, it is the gradient that represents speed. So it's important that you draw a graph with decreasing gradient. You're then asked to explain how you've sketched your graph, and that's the point you need to make. So the gradient of the graph represents the speed, and the graph has a decreasing gradient.